Come along, rise and shine. Come along and rise and shine. Come on and shine. Come along and ride on a light walk a journey. Light walk a journey. Yeah. Come along and ride on a light walk a journey. Yeah.
Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Sunday Soul Podcast. And I am your host, Dr. Lisa Brewer. And today I have someone extremely special. Okay. We have Mr. Les Watson, the founder of Get More Time, but more importantly, he is the Time Lord. So we must bow down and show mad respect. He's also the founder of Creating Success Coaching. He's also blessed me with an amazing book about gaining an hour a day. And when I tell you it has done wonders for me in just a very short amount of time that I've had to sit with this lovely book. You guys, we're going to talk all about that. But Les, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, Lisa. It's great to be here. You are amazing. You just are amazing.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. So, the title Time Lord. I said that with an English, not an Aussie accent, so you have to pardon me. That, I'm sure, that title does not get bestowed upon one without some serious storyline behind that and some serious work. How did you become the Time Lord, may I ask, dear sir?
It's very serious. Not what happened was the Get More Time was happening and the business cards were happening. Like, let's do business cards. Okay. Anybody can be a director. Anyone can be a general manager. Anyone can be a founder. And it just didn't fit. It did not fit. So my wife and I were just about to retire for the evening and put our heads on the pillow. And being people of faith, we kind of looked up to God and we said, Lord, it has to have something to do with time, Lord. And we just laughed ourselves silly. We just went, well, it can't be anything else. Les Watson, Time Lord. So that's what it was. It stuck. I'm known as the Time Lord. Oh, Time Lord's here, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't have a TARDIS. I don't have a sonic screwdriver, but I do have a scarf if those people are referring to Doctor Who.
Doctor Who, exactly. That's probably going to go over a lot of people's heads, but I appreciate it.
A television series, Doctor Who.
Yes, a British television series that has been on for quite some time.
Decades,
yes. And there's been numerous Doctor Who's, and the latest of which, if I recall hearing, is a woman.
Yes.
Which raised a little bit of ruckus.
Yep.
That'll be a whole nother discussion. We'll have a whole nother day, because I tend to get myself in a whole lot of trouble when I talk about those topics. So we're going to skirt that right on around.
All right.
Anyway, so Time Lord. Get More Time. How did you get to this point where you realized you could help people get more time?
I did a lot of work on myself in the early 80s. Yes, I know I don't look that, but in the early 80s, I did just a ton of work. And one of those was a time management session. And it was a seminar over Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, a gentleman by the name of David Allen. And he wrote the other good book called what's it called? Getting Things Done.
Getting Things Done, yes.
So he did GTD methodology. It's worldwide renowned. And some of the biggest companies in the world have done the GTD methodology. So I sat under him. I did other seminars with him. I respect him immensely. And I started that particular 3 days changed my life. I went from a drifting person to someone that had purpose. I went from not getting stuff done to getting stuff done. I ended up with a system, a planner, an ability to create areas in my life and segment them so that I wasn't overwhelmed. And then I went into business and did that, sales, customer service. I did leadership, communication, anything that makes people tick. And then I kind of went, okay, I really need to do some other things. And there's a story in there. I'm going to go there. You've opened the door. You have opened the door.
Absolutely.
Someone once said they're not going to work with anyone that hasn't cycled once. And it's like, well, what is a cycle? In other words, they haven't gone bust once, and I've gone bust. And the reason I bring it up is that sometimes in business, it's not about being all pristine and fabulous and shiny. Sometimes you've got dents and sometimes you have failures. And I've had a big failure and I had to lay the business down. I ran it into the ground, I laid it down and walked away and went, never going back there. No. So,
hello.
See you later. So I moved from New South Wales on the east coast of Australia down to Victoria, and I was working with a particular lady, and she said, "You need to relaunch your company." I went, "No, that's not going to happen." Yep, you need to relaunch it because the people around here need what you have. And the one that was standing out in the moment was time management. So I actually went, "Yep, let's go with that." And the book came out of that, and a whole lot of work came out of it. And it was just timing. And what I had learnt in cycling once, I was able to put into the Les Watson 2.0 in business.
Wow.
And learn from it, but also teach others. So the time management is just a small part of it, but a lot of the coaching happens where people are stumbling and really stuck. And I go, yep, I've been there. I've done that. I totally understand. And here's how I got through it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I'm okay to say I've been bust more than once. Different companies, but managed to finally figure my way out, right?
Yeah.
And now this is it's been just tremendous. And it's interesting you talk about time management and then timing, because the timing is almost, I would say, sometimes more important than even what you're doing. Like if it's in the wrong time, it never quite synchronizes. But I will be honest with you, the biggest bane of my existence and what feels so incredibly overwhelming is time management. It especially for us, there's a lot of solopreneurs, there's a lot of leaders of, you might have a team, it might not just be you. You might be in the workplace, you might have an organization there, or you just got the house going on. I mean, that's more than enough. Time management, why do you think it's so elusive and scary to a lot of people?
Two things. The word management, you can't manage time. But the second one, it just is. If you're breathing, you need time management. We're in the world. We're in this thing called 24 hours. And there are deadlines, and we need to interact with those deadlines. Therefore, the easier that we have the ability to work with those deadlines, the easier our life is.
Yeah.
And it's like, we know people, we do know people, and there may be listeners, but we know people that struggle all the time with being late and deadlines and stress and anxiety, and I'm never able to get stuff done and all of that. So, and if you can get a handle on that, life becomes a whole lot easier. And in our conversation, listeners, Lisa and I said, let me send you the book, the Get Back an Hour in Every Day book.
Yes.
and I'll let you say, what did you think when I said you're going to get a time management? What did you think, Lise?
Okay. So to be completely honest, I thought, that's lovely. Thank you very much. I don't know when I'm going to find the time kid you not, when I'm going to find the time to read another book and digest and implement another time management strategy. You know, I've done the Franklin Covey and the I mean, I can't even begin to tell you. I've probably taken Franklin Covey over my corporate career 5-6 times. Do you think I ever used it? Had these fantastic planners. Would go to the new updates and blah blah. They send me all these things, and it all seemed fabulous. But I'm like, when do I have time to even implement this whole thing? It's like it's antithetical to what you're supposed to be to me, right?
Yep.
So
And you're not alone. You're not alone, Lisa. People do it all the time.
Oh, so I was like, that's lovely, Les. And so to be fair, you guys, it's probably been about a month since we spoke first to even get to this point where we're doing this interview. So Les sent it to me. And I was like, okay, well, this is a PDF. I clicked open gingerly. And I'm like, oh, it's not that long. Okay, great. And then I start reading it and I realize it's not a system. To me, it's more of it's a way of life. For me, it's an accountability.
Nice.
It's an empowerment. It's not a structured system,
Nice.
but it brings structure in a very gentle way.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
It's
So I'll type that testimonial out, or we'll snippet that, and you can put that somewhere.
It's very much a coffee table book where you can put it down and pick it up, put it down and pick it up, and go, I need something on procrastination, and you get a short, sharp paragraph on procrastination. I need something on meetings, and you got something on meetings. I just picked it up. Daily routine, interruptions, patience, perfectionism, planning, and you name it. So it's the A to Z of being more productive. It's just a delightful book. It's also got the story. It's got the story of me coming out of Tasmania. And all of you listeners know Tasmania because of the Tasmanian devil.
Of course.
So I am the original Tasmanian devil. And it's the story of me coming out of Tasmania and how I grew up.
Yeah.
So it's a good read.
It is. I will be extremely honest. So open this up and I'm like, okay, can go anywhere, right? A to Z. I'm like, my email inbox is way out of control. Let me see what he says about email. And then the little snippet you give about email, I have heard 50 million times. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I hear people say, only check your email once or twice a day, da 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 da. But how Les puts this to you makes it less of a command and so much more of an empowerment. And it's like, this is why studies show it's okay. Basically, I'm paraphrasing, I'm putting some words in there. No one's going to die. And if they're dying, they should probably call you instead rather than email you. That's kind of what I got out of the whole thing, right?
Oh, very much so.
And it just put me at ease so now I'm not constantly checking my emails, right? On a moment by moment basis, unless there's something urgent going on, like I'm appearing on a summit or something like that. It just put my mind at ease. So I was like, this is kind of cool. So I'm just going through. So you guys, if we forget to say this, you have to go on his site and purchase this book. It is
getmoretime.com.au. You got to put the AU in there for those who are in the US.
Okay.
Me being in Australia. So getmoretime.com.au. And it's available in the store on the site. In fact, as we get towards the end, I've got something. So stick around.
Awesome.
If you're listening, I've got something as a giveaway. So stick around for that.
Awesome. Yes, we like that. but I'm going to tell everybody listening to me, you get the giveaway, and then you also go and buy that book. It will change your life. Okay. And I don't say that lightly. My folks know I don't say those things lightly.
Oh.
So let's keep going here. So you restart your business.
Yep.
And everybody in Victoria loves you, right?
Yeah, apparently.
You restart your business. How does that then become like, talk to us about starting that business up and getting that going and getting it off the ground.
I have a model, and the model is to make life easy. And it's the ESI model. So ESI being easy. So it's external action, support, and internal focus. And part of that making it easy is doing the action. So I took the model and I went, okay, so I'm going to do action, and I'm going to implement, and I'm going to have momentum. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to knock on doors. I'm going to use the phone and I'm going to email. And I was able to create a whole stack of business because I took action. Wow. So it really is a thing of, are you taking action in your life to create what it is you want? Are you taking action? So the E is for action. Then the S is for support. And here's where podcasts are great, because you have a support structure in good podcasting where you can get support from guests in your ears when you're driving, when you're riding, when you're walking, when you're doing the dishes, when you're taking time out, you're getting support in your ears. So there's podcasting, but then there's people around you. Do you have a support structure around you? Two keys with support. One is asking for it and being supportable. Oh no, Lisa, it's okay. I'll do it myself. No, I don't need anyone's help. I can do it myself. And that's the ego. That's the pride that gets in the road and stops you.
Absolutely.
So that's the S, and really is letting people in, and then every now and then asking. It's like, excuse me, Lisa, can you give me a hand? If you say no, I don't crawl into the corner and go, nobody loves me, everybody hates me, I think I'm going to eat worms.
Yeah.
If Lisa's not going to help me, I'm going to go and ask somebody else, and ask, and someone's going to say it. Yep. Someone's going to go, yeah, I'll give you a hand.
Yep.
Because if you don't get a yes, you've got a very small circle, and you need to expand your circle of support. Yeah. And I've got a very large section of that in my trainings and in my coaching about support. So E for action, S for support, and the I is internal. What are you saying to yourself? What are you saying to yourself? Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. Now, it's a platitude, but it's also very true, very true.
Completely.
Go, Liz.
No, I was going to say that is absolutely completely true. I mean, the Bible even says, as a man thinketh, so he is.
Yeah.
Right. So what we think about ourselves and what we say, life and death is in the power of the tongue. We speak life or we speak death over ourselves. And I used to teach people when I was a sales manager and a sales trainer that the reason why we take away objections, right? The best way to overcome an objection is to introduce it yourself and then to kind of diffuse it. This is what I think, one of the best ways. And the reason for that is because the minute our mouth says something, the minute it comes off our tongue and hits our ears, our brain then decides that it's true. Try to move somebody off of that once it's come out of their mouth. So I used to teach them, let's preemptively overcome the objection before it can ever come out of the other party's mouth. So what you speak over yourself, your body is going to respond to do exactly what you tell it to do, right? Either be successful or not.
Yeah, and a lot around time. You could say to yourself, I'm always late, I'm always late, I'm always late. And you will always be late, always, because you are constantly telling yourself, and there's part inside of you going, sorry, did you say you wanted to be late? We can do that.
Super easy.
Yeah, very easy. So just changing what you're saying to yourself about, I'm always on time, I'm a good salesperson, I'm a good person, I'm a good wife, I'm a good husband, I'm a good partner. I'm a good citizen.
Yes.
I recycle, whatever you would like to put as an affirmation in that regard. The power of life and death is in the tongue. There's a great example of it, and it's probably somewhere on YouTube, where a person gets two plants, puts a plant at one end of the house and another plant at the other end of the house. They're exactly the same. They'd be planted at the same time, and speaks positivity over one
Mm-hmm.
and negativity over the other. They get watered exactly the same, but the only difference is the power of the tongue, what you're saying to these plants. And after a month, the one that's got positivity spoken over it is flourishing. The one that's negatively spoken about is dying. It's wilting. It's just dreadful. Now, I have no idea what that's about, other than be careful what you say, because if you're speaking to your plants and they wilt, what are you saying to yourself?
Absolutely.
And the power of that. So if there's one thing to get out of today, then speak encouragement over yourself. Because if we spoke to ourselves, if we spoke to our friends the way we spoke to ourselves, we wouldn't have any friends.
No, we wouldn't. No, we wouldn't. And there's definitely this community, we're very much aware of that, right? And putting out that energy, because your words do not return unto you void. They absolutely don't.
And those three things, that ES and I,
Yes.
put them together, and they're very, very powerful. If you do the action and the internal without the support, you're not as effective because you're trying to do it on your own. The action and the support without the internal, you cut your own legs off based on what you say to yourself.
Yes.
And the support and the internal with that action, you're dreaming, because you're not taking action on what you're wanting to do. You're wanting it to come to you without doing anything. But the three of them together, hugely powerful, hugely powerful.
That is amazing. I want to ask you something about, and then we'll get back to the story. But there is this concept out there, and I employed this concept when I started the Practical Lightworker and Lightworker Academy. And this was all about this whole concept of messy action. I'm sure you've probably heard about that, right? Where you're just like, you just got to do it, right? You have an idea. You might not have everything set up, but you just do it. Now, I'm okay with taking action because I'm a big action taker. The problem I saw with that, though, is I didn't have a proper balance of some foundation before I started taking action. What do you recommend with that balance, or how can we find the balance, right, in managing the time? Because I feel like it created a cluster later on that now I'm having to unravel. I'm spending a lot of time doing some things I probably shouldn't have had to, but maybe I'm wrong. What are your feelings on that?
It's about what do you want? What do you want to create? And if you're very clear about what you want to create, there are certain tasks you need to do to get there. So that I know clarity is power. The clearer you are on what you want to create, the better it is. So if you have a clear picture of what you want to create, what that enables you to do is have a sense of the steps you want to take, and then some others. But it'll always bring you towards the target that you're trying to achieve. So it's not just action for action's sake. I'm going to do 100 things. No, whittle it down to 20, and that's a lot. Don't do 100 called I'm over to the left or I'm over to the right. Stay on target, stay on track, stay on course. Create the steps and the actions towards the goal that you're after. And yes, sometimes you'll step outside of that bounds, but you'll get feedback. Listen to the feedback, get the feedback, take it on board, and course correct. And as you come on board, and they often say that normal airliners don't stay on course more than 1%. They're always course correcting. They'll go off to the left and they'll come back, and they're off to the right and come back, and they all reach their target. It's like, what? Really? So yeah, they just course correct. That's all they do. They course correct, and they arrive every single time. I've never ended up at a wrong airport.
That's very true. Neither am I.
And that's all about course correction. So similar to the support structure, sometimes you need to take the feedback and course correct. And it's a lot about business, about being a human being, about productivity. Take the feedback. If what you're doing is not working, do something different. And the old adage of what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Don't do that. If you take the feedback, course correct, do something differently.
Absolutely. So, by employing these pillars, I'll call them pillars of your ESI pillars, you were then able to help coach people to success, right? To creating success for themselves.
Yep.
Do you want to talk
I
about
am.
that methodology a little bit?
It's framed around small business. It's framed around small business. And
Yeah.
I've actually got people in the program at the moment around the world that aren't in small business, but they get so much out of the program as an individual. They stay in the program because it's so beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great support structure. It's great for accountability.
Mm-hmm.
It's great to have a tribe. In Australia, a mob. It's like, do you have a community of people that you can be around that support you to be greater than what you think you are? And that's what we've been able to create. That's what I've been able to create in creating success coaching, where people come in, they get the foundation of the ESI model, and then I take them through 12 modules. And in those 12 modules and 97 videos that are, as you say, Lisa, the book and the modules, the book and the lessons, very similar. They are not hard work at all. Mostly 2 to 3 minutes each. Some are longer. I've got leadership. I've got discipline. I've got email and paperwork. I've got planning. I've got a whole stack of things in there, but it's all based on, it's online. You can do it yourself, and then come into the group coaching and be supported in looking at those things that may not be working for you, or asking a question, or just hanging out with positive people.
Yes, that is so important. It's so wonderful to have a group, a tribe, a mob that you can come to, right? And bounce ideas off. I think what happens to a lot of us, especially when we're entrepreneurs, but just people in general, and definitely over the last 24 months, we've been so isolated and cut off from interaction with our peers or anyone, really, right? We've been cut off from human interaction. And to be able to come together, either virtually or in person, and just have the camaraderie, right? Just have this, we're all here creating success together. That is a beautiful energy to be immersed in, and to know that you can come back to, and to know that that's there for you um, all along the way, and that you're not in this alone. And that's probably the biggest, I think, time killer of the solopreneur or the entrepreneur period, is believing that we're in this all alone.
Yeah. And I have a saying that your independence is making you sick. So
Ooh.
stop with the yeah, I know it's a big one. I'll say it again. Your independence is making you sick. And then, does that go deep? You bet. Does it cut? For some people listening, that's going to cut. It's like, oh yeah, I do that. So stop that. Now I've got a great marriage. I've got a fabulous marriage. I've got the best marriage out of anybody I know. And that has enabled me to then create a platform where I can have people in the program and love on them and give to them and support them, so that then that just trickles out and they're able to create the success that they want in the world. It is a thing of, for me, COVID wasn't lonely, because it went, well, you can't go out. And I went, number one, I had my own relationship, but then I went online and I created a community online. So So use the availability. And if one doesn't work, find another one. Find another one. Now, I've got church as well, and church went online. And some of the church online works, sometimes it doesn't. But then you go back to being in person, and some people go, no, I'd rather be online. Whatever works. Whatever works, it doesn't matter. Find your tribe.
Yes. Yes. Find your tribe. Join your tribe.
Yep.
Right? Because we're here. We're waiting for you. And if
Yep.
it's not our tribe, if it's not myself, if it's not Les, there's someone there. But don't stop. Don't
Yep.
stop putting that energy out and attracting yourself to your tribe and your tribe to you.
Yeah. Seeking. What? Don't stop seeking. What's that
Absolutely.
one? Knocking, it shall be opened. Asking, it
Yes.
shall be given to you.
Yes.
Another word from the good book.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. This is very, very powerful. So, Time Lord.
Yes.
I think one other thing that I wanted to tap into is this concept of kind of like you can't have it all, right? Like, especially for a parent, well, I guess for anybody really, but finding the time to have a personal life and as well as work, as well as entrepreneurship or whatever we're doing. How do you help people figure that? Because I don't think there's any such thing as work-life balance. I don't. I think that's an oxymoron, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. What's your take on that?
Three things: leadership, discipline, and boundaries. Let me handle the boundaries really quickly for the parents in the room. Those times when you go to the toilet and outside the toilet, you're, Mom, I just want to have a pee. Mom. So boundaries. Now, if it's not children, think about it from the bigness of life, where people come up and go, have you got 5 minutes? Have you got, can I? And the boundaries is an opportunity for you to go, yeah, that's not going to work for me right now. I need to work on this, but I'm happy to catch you in the morning, or I'm happy to catch you at 4 o'clock. So boundaries play a big part in holding on to that time that's sacred to you, that works for you. And the phrase is, oh, that's not going to work for me right now. And there's no comeback for that. There's just no, it's like, they don't come back and go, why doesn't it work for you? They just go, okay then, and off they go. So that's number 3. Number 2 is discipline. And discipline is that thing of doing an action that works for you and maintaining it over time. Just the discipline of doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. So rather than, oh, that was a good idea, and dropping it after 2 or 3, just keep going with the ones that work for you. The diet, the exercise, the things, the sacred spaces, the meditation, the prayer, time alone. Those things are really important, and it's discipline. And there are disciplines you already have, so you can't tell me you're not disciplined. Just take it and move it on to the other ones. And the final one is, the big one is leadership. We all want to be a leader, even if it's just leading the dog.
Yeah.
So as a leader, are you leading your life? Are you being the victim or the victor? Are you going, no, I'm going to create, or are you under the weight of it? So if you're under the weight of it, how can you get out from underneath it? How can you be the leader? How can you create it the way you want it? How can you be empowered to do it differently? And that's where the tools and techniques and strategies that I have in Get More Time and Creating Success Coaching come into play, because you don't know what you don't know. And that's why the stuff that you do, Lisa, is so important, because you're giving people knowledge that they don't normally have. And that's where my business, it's like, I didn't even realize that. And today I came off a call to come into this one where I asked them, based on the ESI model today, what did you learn? And they just went, and every single person got something out of it, and they'd heard it before. But it's like, okay, now that we've done that, let's do it again. Tell me, what did you get? And everyone got something new out of it that they could take away and do something different to create the success for them.
Oh, that is so wonderful. That is amazing. That is amazing. I know you love that when that happens. I love it when it happens.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's like, oh, yes. That's great. Les, this is just extremely powerful, and we could probably talk for hours and hours and hours, because I come up with just the next question, and the next question basically it's like, please help me manage my life. But we're not going to be able to do that. Now, we're going to have links to all of this in the show notes if you're listening on the podcast platforms, or in the description of the videos on YouTube and on Facebook. But you mentioned there might be a little something for my audience. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking a download the 25 time tips from Les. So it's on the website. So it's getmoretime.com.au/time tips.
Oh,
just time tips. It's really easy. Just time tips. And we will put the link in there, but just go there. It's free. Just put your name and email address and bang, there it is. And you can download it. And Lisa, is there a way that we can hang out after this that people can ask questions? Is that a normal thing for you?
Yeah, we hang out after this for about an hour.
Oh, come on.
I know. Listen, it's getting late for some of us by that point in time. So, but we'll be together for an hour. And for those of you that are watching this on YouTube or on Facebook, there's going to be a link in the chat I'm going to give you. And we have an live after show. So go to that chat, go click on that link, or you'll be redirected there in just a minute, because you don't want to miss the rest of this. And for the rest of you, I'm actually going to post the after show. I don't post all the after shows, but I'm going to post the after show. And so you guys will get to listen up and listen to that too if you didn't get to hear it at first.
Awesome. I love it. So if you can make the after show, great. If not, download the free downloadable, pop your name and your address in, and it's getmoretime.com.au/time tips, TIMETIPS, time tips.
Fabulous. Thank you. And then while you're there, once again, and I'm not getting paid for this, guys, I'm just telling you, buy that book.
Buy that book. So too, there's the physical one and also the ebook. So you can just download the ebook from the store on the site. Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. It's quick. It's nice. Yep. Get it. Don't run. Don't walk, run. Go get it. Les, this is amazing. Thank you so much. I'm so glad we're going to spend a little bit more time together. Absolutely amazing. And then your website link, just a straight website, is going to be there anyway. But guys, go download the 25 time tips. It is going to change your world. I just know it's going to change your world. So don't even waste any time with that. Do you have anything? I'd like to leave a final word for those that won't be able to join us later. But do you have something you'd like to leave the community with?
That life is easy. Life is easy. If you want to do it easy, choose to do it easy. We sometimes get under the weight of doing it hard, and I go, do it easy. Do some action, get some support, and careful what you say to yourself, because whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. Life can be easy. Be passionate, be outrageous, like let your light shine. And you've got all of these wonderful people that listen, and I go, come on, folks, let's lift, because as we all lift, we lift others with us. And you may think I'm excited. You wait till the after call. I get even more energy after this.
Oh my gosh.
Look out. Here we go.
Oh my gosh, Les. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here and bestowing your wisdom upon us. We really do very, very much appreciate it. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Thanks. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you on the after show, but if not, until next time, peace, love, blessings, and joy be unto you today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. I love you guys so much. We'll see you on the next time. Bye-bye.